Hey, second grade. Today we are going to be exploring climate change. Let's get started. All right, so what is the difference between weather and climate? So, as we've learned, weather and climate use many of the same words to talk about themselves. So, some of the ones that we will focus on a little bit will be temperature and precipitation or rainfall. We have learned weather is the measure of the state of our atmosphere on any given day. Now, climate is the measure of weather over a number of years. It's like weather, but over a longer time. Weather, as we can see here, can change within a few minutes or hours. On the other side of this picture, it says climate, it takes a very long time to change, sometimes hundreds of thousands or millions of years. So let's check out this video that'll explain what climate change is.
Hey, what's the difference between weather and climate? You can't weather a tree, but you can climb it. But you already know the difference between weather and climate. And if it slipped your mind, psst, the definitions are right there. You know that the weather can change quickly, but climate can also change, just more slowly. And if you're good at putting two and two together, and I know you are, you probably already noticed that we use some of the same words when we talk about climate and environment. Words like temperature and rainfall. Coincidence? I think not. But science demands evidence, my friends, and while we've already seen that living things can change when environments change, we need to ask, how might a change in climate affect an ecosystem? First, let's talk climate. Through Little Me's travels, we found out that Yuma, Arizona had a hot and sunny climate. We decided this after finding out that although it rained once or twice during my long stay, most of the days were hot and dry. Now, the plants and animals that live in Yuma's hot, dry, sunny climate have adaptations that help them live in that desert environment. If we took a hike around Yuma, we might see a cactus, and if we took a closer and careful look at the cactus, we'd see that its outside is kind of waxy and tough. This adaptation helps the cactus save water by keeping the water from evaporating into the dry air. Now, say something happened to Yuma's climate. Say over the course of about 20 years, there were even hotter days and less rainfall than before. When weather patterns change over a long period of time, we call it climate change. Would the cactus's adaptations be enough then? Let's find out. Let's look at some organisms that are part of a desert ecosystem. We have our friend the cactus, a kangaroo rat, a rattlesnake, and a desert fox. We can use a handy-dandy food chain model to see how energy flows between living things in this ecosystem. It would probably look something like this. The cactus makes energy by photosynthesis, and the energy goes from the cactus to the rat, then to the snake, and then to the fox. Now, although the cactus has adaptations that help it store and save water, it still needs rain. If it doesn't get enough in a drier climate, it's not going to have anything to store, and it's not going to be able to survive. And you know what happens when we take out the bottom of the food chain? It's like taking the wrong block in Jenga. We throw the rest of the ecosystem off balance. But that's not the only problem. Less rain and hotter temperatures mean less water to drink for all of the animals. And although they have adaptations too, like scales to help them retain water, that won't be enough to let them fit into a much hotter and drier climate. And globally, the climate is changing. Scientists who study climate change think that it's caused in part by changes to the Earth's atmosphere. An increase in gases like carbon dioxide is trapping more heat close to the Earth, acting like a blanket and making the Earth warmer. But scientists are hard at work trying to find solutions to climate change. For example, they're looking at ways to keep too much carbon dioxide from entering the atmosphere. So, all living things that make up the Earth's biosphere have adaptations, characteristics that help them fit into their environment. Long-term changes in the Earth's weather patterns, called climate change, may have effects on the living things that make up ecosystems. Now, if only I could change that joke I told at the beginning of this video.
All right, so as you guys learned from that video, climate change is a long-term change in a region's weather patterns. So there's examples of this that happen naturally. So for example, Minnesota was covered in glaciers. Like much of the world, around 20,000 years ago, we were in a global ice age at that time. Today, that is not the case because of natural climate change. That happens because of a shift in the Earth's rotation around the sun. So climate change can occur naturally, or it can be caused by humans. Human-caused climate change. Humans can cause climate change through the greenhouse effect. So what is the greenhouse effect? This visual shows a really good way of imagining it. So as I read this, I want you to look at this. Gases such as carbon dioxide that are emitted from cars and factories rise to our atmosphere and trap the sun's rays on Earth, causing the Earth to warm. The pollution that we create gets trapped in the atmosphere and causes some of these rays from the sun to be trapped within our atmosphere that surrounds the Earth. Now, some rays do get bounced back into space, either from our atmosphere or from the Earth. But when the greenhouse effect is taking place and we have those extra gases, they're helping to, like I said, trap those rays in our atmosphere, raising the temperature of the Earth. So how do we know that climate change is real? Scientists, they are able to take the temperature of certain periods of time, and because of that, they're able to track the changes in temperature. This is showing the average global temperature change. So in 1880, about the start of the Industrial Revolution, when we started to have factories and produce more pollution, you can see it's kind of fluctuating. There's a big dip here, there's dips here and there, but overall, you can see some really big spikes just going up and up and up. So let's check out this other video that'll break it down even more.
Human activities, from pollution to overpopulation, are driving up the Earth's temperature and fundamentally changing the world around us. The main cause is a phenomenon known as the greenhouse effect. Gases in the atmosphere, such as water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and chlorofluorocarbons, let the sun's light in, but keep some of the heat from escaping, like the glass walls of a greenhouse. The more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, the more heat gets trapped, strengthening the greenhouse effect and increasing the Earth's temperature. Human activities, like the burning of fossil fuels, have increased the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere by more than a third since the Industrial Revolution. The rapid increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere has warmed the planet at an alarming rate. While Earth's climate has fluctuated in the past, atmospheric carbon dioxide hasn't reached today's levels in hundreds of thousands of years. Climate change has consequences for our oceans, our weather, our food sources, and our health. Ice sheets, such as Greenland and Antarctica, are melting. The extra water that was once held in glaciers causes sea levels to rise and spills out of the oceans, flooding coastal regions. Warmer temperatures also make weather more extreme. This means not only more intense major storms, floods, and heavy snowfall, but also longer and more frequent droughts. These changes in weather pose challenges. Growing crops becomes more difficult. The areas where plants and animals can live shift, and water supplies are diminished. In addition to creating new agricultural challenges, climate change can directly affect people's physical health. In urban areas, the warmer atmosphere creates an environment that traps and increases the amount of smog. This is because smog contains ozone particles, which increase rapidly at higher temperatures. Exposure to higher levels of smog can cause health problems such as asthma, heart disease, and lung cancer. While the rapid rate of climate change is caused by humans, humans are also the ones who can combat it. If we work to replace fossil fuels with renewable energy sources like solar and wind, which don't produce greenhouse gas emissions, we might still be able to prevent some of the worst effects of climate change.
There are many ways humans can help to stop climate change. So we learned a little bit about how, in that video, climate change could affect us and also the world around us. Some ways we can help are, one, investing in renewable energy. So some examples of renewable energy are wind turbines, that's what these are, solar panels, Nuclear energy, that's these over here, big nuclear power plants. Hydroelectric dams, that's a dam right here with the water flowing through it. And geothermal energy here. That is using, geothermal is using the heat from the earth, from inside of the earth, to create energy. That could be from lava chambers, from heat veins in the bottom of the ocean, stuff like that. So another way to combat climate change is reducing food waste. For example, this is pretty mind-blowing. Decomposing food produces methane, which is 21 times better at causing climate change than carbon dioxide. So in the US, we throw out about 40% of the food we produce. Now that's just not you, that's not just you and me or other people around us. That's also grocery stores, schools, places like that. So that's why it's really important that we recycle, compost, and know what to throw away. So we can help by learning what to throw away in the trash, what to recycle, and what to compost, like I just said. So I wanted to show you guys this little picture because it's a really good way of kind of visualizing what we can compost, what we can throw away, what we can recycle. So, for example, compost, these are spa water cups. I don't know what those are. Napkins, tea bags, bones you can compost, paper, spoiled paper, muffin cups, plants, food scraps, stuff like that. Recycle, you can recycle cans, milk cartons, glass bottles, clean paper. You don't want to recycle dirty paper or dirty bottles. Bottles that are like this. Containers, like plastic ones that could contain like sour cream, cream cheese, stuff like that. Other cans and non-dairy cartons that would be like your juice cartons and stuff that you get. All right, another way to combat climate change is eating less meat and eating more plants. Woo! We all love our vegetables, right? So for example, this will blow your mind a little bit. Meat production from cows, chickens, pigs, and other animals cause around 15% of global air pollution. That is a huge amount. And I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but considering that the earth is warming, it is quite a bit. This picture that I have here shows in millions of tons how much air pollution each animal product is responsible for. Carbon dioxide helps to cause climate change. Cows or beef cause the most. So this is a cow. Cows that we eat, that you buy beef from the store, produce 5,024 million tons of carbon dioxide. That is an insane amount. All of these animals put together don't even equal the amount of pollution that beef or cows produce. And kind of a weird, gross fact, but it comes from their farts. So we should try to eat less beef if possible. Another way to combat climate change, and this is our number 4 way, is by restoring forests. As you may have heard before, forests, especially rainforests, are the lungs of the earth. Now, all forests are important, and we should be working to save all of them, but rainforests are especially important because they grow year-round. There's no winter in the rainforest that all the trees go into hibernation. They are soaking in carbon dioxide, which plants breathe in, as we learned in our plant unit. They breathe in carbon dioxide and put out oxygen. Rainforests are burned for cropland. That's the main reason why rainforests are destroyed. If we added, this is just a theory, if we added 2.2 billion acres of forests, we could potentially reduce air pollution by 2/3 globally. That is a staggering number. We have destroyed over half of the forests on Earth, so it's really important that we do this part to help the earth. This is a really cool example that I found on the internet. This couple worked to restore this forest by planting 2 million trees over 20 years. So this was their house in 2001, and this was their house in 2019. You can see it was a complete barren wasteland is what it looks like, right? And now it's a beautiful forest, and all of these green trees are helping to reduce air pollution. While we are the cause of climate change, we are also the solution. Kids are the future adults. That's you guys. You can help fight climate change. You can change the world if we all work together. All right, guys, that was all I had for you. There will be worksheets for you to check out. If you have any questions, let me know. In the description below the video, I am also going to put a link to a playlist that has some more information about climate change if you're interested in learning more about it on YouTube. Otherwise, I will see you guys later. Bye.